In this video, I'm going to show you the iPitch hardware and its connection to MC950. As you see in this picture, this is the iPitch controller. This is MC950. And here it's the motor and the base of the iPitch, the protection sliders, and the cradles to hold the transducers. Looking at the side view, you see the drive, which has at this point, half-inch drive, torque transducer holder, which can hold the transducers that we offer up to 2000 Newton meter. This has a cradle. Which there's a crank. You can widen it and also move it up and down using this other knob. This is a load cell which sits on its own base, and this is the nut holder with a locking mechanism. A closer view shows you the connection of the torque angle transducer with the bolt which is installed inside this load cell. Also, another shot of it. This knob helps you to move this up and down, and this crank allows you to adjust until it's tight for the positioning of the load cell and position of the torque transducer. This part allows you to unscrew it and take out the cradles if you need it, but I don't think you will be going to be doing that. Also, as you see, there is a bolt inside the load cell, and it shows you the bolt, the nut holder, which at this point is not functioning. We're not using nut holder because there's a mechanism in the bushing of this load cell which holds the nut. So that nut holder is not used at this point. But there is another usage of this nut holder. You can push everything towards the left to put all the parts intact. Also provides you a lock mechanism and also push mechanism which installs at this end. Another way of using this either as a nut holder or a cover for this area. By using a socket, you can just put them together without engaging. That this would allows you to protect the nut from flying. In case if the bolt breaks, then just stays in this area and will not fly. The push mechanism I was talking about, we supply the iPitch with a spring push that one end goes in this location, the other end goes in any of these three locations. This provides constant force towards the back of this nut holder, which again pushes the whole thing together in case if you need the constant force for the assembly. Now let's talk about the drive. The drive has three adapters: half-inch drive, 3/4 inch drive, and 1-inch drive. You can change this by removing these two screws and then placing one of those in here. They are optimized for their operation up to a certain torque. With half-inch, you can go up to the 200 Newton meter, which is good to torque angle transducer of 200 Newton meter. To go up to the 500 Newton meter, you need this 3/4 inch in this place. To take it out, these two screws, you have to use an Allen wrench to take them out, slide it out, then put back the 3/4 inch and tighten these two screws. Not too tight because you might have to take it out, and you want it to be easy to take it out. And here's all assembled. So for using this iPitch from 500 Newton meter up to 2000 Newton meter, you need this multiplier. This multiplier, the base of this multiplier sits on this groove, which this groove catches the reaction torque that this multiplier produces. the female end of this multiplier is 3/4 of an inch, and the male drive is the 1-inch screw drive, which can fit into the up to 1,000 Newton meter the torque angle transducer. If you want to use the 1.5 inch, you need an adapter that goes from 1-inch up to 1.5 inch adapter, which fits into the bigger transducers that we offer. And in this part, I'm going to explain the protection part, which is a sliding box. There's a base to this. We supply all of the protection parts as a kit because it makes it easier for transportation. Otherwise, it would be difficult, and we have had some difficulties with these shipment of these assembled. So there are just some screws, Allen screws we need to put together. First, you put the base together, and then the base, as you see, it is bigger than the base of the iPitch. This allows you to move it back and forth. As you see here, there's some room that you can slide this back and forth. Again, when you close it, when you put them together, you provide the protection area in case something happens. The plexiglass catches out. So that is there for protection. I was explaining about the base, which is bigger than the iPitch base, because this allows you to push one side and another to create more room, one or another. The iPitch base is about 60-inch, and there's enough room to put all kinds of bolts and lengths in here, and sometimes you might need that much space. Now let's talk about the connection. In here, you see the connection from iPitch to the laptop is through Ethernet. Since the laptops don't have any Ethernet connectors anymore, so we use USB to Ethernet converters, which is the black part you see. Then there is an Ethernet connection from here to back of the iPitch controller. Also, and here the other part is this command cable, which goes to the one side goes to the MC950, the other side goes to the iPitch. From torque or tension transducer, we have two connectors, which to the cables, usually torque goes to channel 1 and tension goes to channel 2. And also you see the connection from iPitch to the power. It's a closer shot, shows you the connection here to one of the USB connectors on the laptop. In case if your laptop has only one USB and you need two USB ports, one for the iPitch, the other one for the MC950. So you might need to use a USB hub, which extends, or a USB extender, which extends the number of USB channels, so that makes it easier to operate. Another shot of the connection, which is easier, the USB connected from the PC to the MC950 for connection up between these two. And this channel 1 is torque and angle, channel 2 is tension with this configuration. Again, another closer shot shows better picture. In case if you have a torque tension transducer, then you have two channels coming out of torque tension transducer, and you have two cables that are coming out. So again, the torque angle, which is input torque, goes here. The tension part of the torque tension cell goes to channel 2, and thread torque goes to channel 3. The other side of the connection from the iPitch to motor is the two cables, which are already have settings, so you cannot make a mistake between them. You have to just screw them in, and that will take care of it. Another part is the there is a ground cable you need to connect to the chassis of the iPitch. Then other side will go to iPitch controller. Here we see the iPitch control, back of iPitch controller, the left part. I explained the left part, which is the command, which the cable, parallel port cable that goes to the MC950. The Ethernet cable goes to the PC. The feedback controller goes to motor, and the motor controller goes to motor. And here you have to make sure to never connect this feedback cable to the MC950, because that will not work. So the feedback cable will only go to the back of the iPitch controller, because they have similar cable, that you might make a mistake. So please pay attention to this area. Again, another shot. These are mostly black cables that goes with feedback and the motor control. On the right side, you see the power that goes in. It's a 230 to 460 volt AC, three-phase. And this is the ground cable that one side goes to the chassis of iPitch. The other side connects to the chassis of the iPitch controller. Also, you have circuit breakers. In case something goes wrong, they would pop out, and you need to push it back in. Right now, it's the working condition, the way when they're all up. This is the connector, or the plug that goes into the wall for the voltage AC that feeds to the iPitch controller, and they are twist lock. So you push it in and twist, they're locked in. In case if you're not using this, then you can take out the end of this cable and use it into your connection box. This shows the iPitch controller jog clockwise, counterclockwise, which goes counterclockwise, jog clockwise. These two, you can use these two to adjust the motor with the torque transducer when you install them in there. To use these two, you need to load the program, then run it as it run and stop. Normally you don't use these two buttons, because these buttons are also provided on the software itself. And that's the power switch, on and off, and emergency. In case something goes wrong, you can push it in and it will lock and turn off the controller and the power to the motor. If you unlock it, twist it, it will pop out and will unlock it. This is the another shot of all the connections, and the next video I'll be explaining how to use the MC911 program with iPitch option, and how can we take care of all of the necessary setups for operation with the hardware that I just explained.